An ear for art is what musicians have. But the artist that Martha Teichner is about to take us to meet is not a musician. Then again, perhaps he is. Come to think of it, no, he isn't. Maybe you better decide for yourself.
Down the path from his home in Lexington, Massachusetts, in a converted greenhouse, he creates urban musical instruments for the public to play.
What's that?
Well, this is actually a simulation of the piece that's in the New York City subway. And in fact, what happens in the subway, if no one plays the instrument for 5 minutes, it plays itself for 5 seconds.
Not only does the installation at 34th Street and 6th Avenue play itself, what it plays depends on the people playing it.
I want it to be a part of your everyday life. On your way to work, you have some kind of aesthetic experience. People don't tend to look right at each other. People are just minding their own business, and they're waiting for the train. So right there, you've got a stage, you've got a possibility. And what I find most intriguing is when complete strangers are all of a sudden playing this thing together. They're looking at each other, they're smiling, they're laughing. My interest is that it transforms an urban space and puts a little relaxation into an otherwise tense environment.
For Janney, understanding the physical nature of sound goes back to playing the drums. For him, striking beams of light to make sound is the same thing. He took time off from college to tour with jazz groups. Everything about his art is about the spontaneity of jazz.
Some of the great elements of playing jazz is that you don't know what's around the corner. And you don't know what's going to happen when you all get together and play.
Chris Janney says he is trying to change the environment to make people look differently at their surroundings. But the only description of his work that comes close to experiencing it is what he has to say about his Miami Airport project. He wanted it to be like walking into a rainbow.
If you try to imagine that, it must be a pretty interesting thing. You get to walk through these bands of color, and that's in fact what the harmonic runway is.
It stretches the length of a moving sidewalk in the new international concourse of the Miami airport. And note, not one passenger is pushing by anyone, racing to get to the end. It is supposed to be soothing. It is supposed to be a fantasy abstraction of the colors and sounds of South Florida.
I think that you can hear color. I think that you can see sound. These are not things that the engineer or, that we should all agree are reality. But I think in the artist world, this is all quite possible.
But the art of the possible in the case of Harmonic Runway had to be made reality by the art of the practical. What Chris Janney creates is public art, but for him that does not mean a statue in a park. It means people interacting with technology to transform a place into a moment, a form into a feeling.
Well, in that sense, really, I'm a musician. I mean, what does a musician want? What does a jazz musician want? It's never played the same way twice. They're experiments for me. That's a lot of what my life and my work is really about. I don't know what's going to happen when I put it out there. That's why I put it out there.
As if it is alive. Like some sleeping soul, it will wait for someone to come along and waken it.